In our last video on grocery stores, we talked about being coffee snobs, and then Martina talked for 17 minutes about how much she loves coffee.
Not true.
That was
There's
not
no footage
appropriate for the grocery video, but it is appropriate for today's video because we're going to be taking you around some of our favorite coffee shops in Tokyo.
Now we know that not all of you guys like coffee, so we tried to include a couple locations that have other things on the menus like snacks or like tea, but most of them are going to be straight up coffee focused. Let's start with our first location, the location that we frequent the most, Light Up Coffee in Kijijunji.
I don't know why people always want to sit inside. I think their steps are the best place. If you have a beautiful blue sky, people going by, you could see puppies. I think this is like one of my favorite places to sit for coffee.
Mate. Mate. Good job.
Oh, I always love the Colombian beans here at Light Up Coffee. They have two different kinds, both of them are great. And what I really love is every time you get some coffee, they give you these little cards that explain what you're supposed to taste. So in this one, there's, I think that's raspberry, plum,
Excuse me, are you cheating?
peach, cherry, juicy, fruity, and sweet all in one. This is actually really useful if you're trying to get into appreciating coffee more. I could taste what they're mentioning here now.
That's why the favorite thing I always get is a tasting set, because it gives me a chance to compare 3 different kinds. And if you don't take the time to understand something, then you're never gonna be able to appreciate it. Now, while Simon enjoys his iced coffee all year round, even in the winter time, I am a huge fan of their coffee tasting set. So it comes with 3 different coffees of whatever choice they want. You can actually get it iced as well. What's good about this is that it gives you a chance to try a coffee and go, what am I tasting? And then move on to the next one. And then you're actually, for real, able to taste different flavors in each coffee. If you want to know and learn about coffee, this is the perfect way to do it. And plus it feels like a little sampler set. Like it's like having appetizer sampler sets. Everyone likes that. You know, when you get like the cheese, it's like deep fried, and like a little bit of chicken nuggies, and like a couple French fries, but not too many. That's like this, but for coffee for me. That makes sense?
It makes perfect sense.
It makes sense. I am, honest to God, gonna tell you this. It's so peachy.
So peachy.
Like really, really peachy. Like, are those bubbles? Did bubbles just appear?
Where are those bubbles
Where
coming
did
from?
bubbles come from?
I found the bubblers. A father and his son.
Beep.
So Martina saw people playing with bubbles so much that she decided to go out and get her own. Looks like kids are happy with that too. Or they're just looking at her like a weirdo. She is a bit of a weirdo, I will admit. I know you came here for coffee, but let's just take a second to appreciate the pure joy Martina has for playing with bubbles.
Is that a donut?
That's a donut. Hi. Arigatou gozaimasu. So this is from the donut shop next door, Hara Donuts. Now before coming to Japan, this would be the last donut that I would ever order. It's not covered in any frosting, it's not huge, it's just a very simple donut, soybean refuse, and it's just a little bit of cinnamon sugar on the outside. And it's great. I couldn't imagine having a donut with so much more stuff on it. Just simple, pure, and delicious.
Flashback to us having bacon-covered donuts in the USA. What's on the top of that?
Bacon.
Yeah, cream.
Hold on, I want some of your cream. Look at all that cream. Don't be a creamy bitch.
Don't be a creamy bitch. I'm gonna be a creamy bitch. Did you just call me a creamy bitch? Oh no, I'm gonna eat this.
That was a different me. That was a different
donut.
me. Only half a donut is all I need now. Only half a donut is all I need. I've been broken. Now we're going to be shooting this video over a couple of days because if we drank this much coffee in one day, we will definitely get far too jittery. So don't be creeped out if you see our clothing changing a bunch throughout this video.
Ah, beautiful rainy day for filming. So glad that I'm under my umbrella. We are at Little Nap Coffee Stand, and it's actually a really popular coffee shop for something that's so off the beaten path. This place is known for its amazing espresso. Also, they have food here, which is a plus if you have friends that don't want to drink any coffee. And they have a really cool selection of music, but it's really tiny. So let's see if we can jam our big buttskis inside. Talking about you, mister. You've got the big butt here.
Have you ever gone to a coffee shop and wanted to choose hot dog? Well, now you can. Hey.
Okay, so this has been about just 10 minutes walking very casually, very slowly, and we are now on the back side of Yoyogi Park, which actually leads to Meiji Temple, which is one of our favorite temples we've told you before. I think it's kind of a cool way to burn off some of your espresso energy, or if it's chilly out, to be walking with your coffee. So let's head inside and see if we can get some artsy stuff, Ducky. Remember my earlier joke where I'm gonna try to ruin all your stuff?
Still think you're gorgeous. If you head on over to the other side of the temple and cross the Harajuku station, there's this great coffee shop called Cookie Time. Ask them for a latte, except to hold the espresso and to put a cookie on there instead. And you can get a side of cookie dough ice cream and cookie dough at the same time.
What the? This isn't coffee. Oh well, wouldn't want to waste it.
When we were in Melbourne, we really loved the coffee scene, so that's why we really like going to Frankie's in Shimokitazawa, because they have Melbourne-style espresso and drinks. I actually really like their cold brew, and sitting on the bench out here, you get some really good people watching in the neighborhood. This is my vibe. They have a super friendly staff. Every single person that's worked here has been very smiley and happy every time we came
always
here.
like coming in here. They love my earrings. I love them here.
And they also have a really good music selection. I like it here. It makes good coffee. It's my jam.
Also, something else I want to mention is if you are not a coffee drinker, this is one of those places that's good to come to with friends like that, because they make an amazing chai, and they have a couple other things in the menu that don't involve espresso. Plus, I really like their lamingtons. So it's like good to come with a friend who's not that into coffee. Were you looking at my bibs? Now, a trip to Shimokitazawa while talking about coffee would not be complete if I didn't mention Bear Pond Espresso, which is like just behind me with a little red bear in the corner. Now, the reason I'm so far away here is because there's a lot of really, really strict rules in Bear Pond Espresso. If you've ever watched Seinfeld, there's that scene with the soup Nazi where like you can't make any changes or choices. It's a bit like that. And there's also a strict no filming and no picture taking policy. So if you look at the reviews online, it's quite mixed because some people find the place quite rude, but if you understand the artsiness of the owner, then you can head on inside and enjoy some seriously amazing espresso. Like, it's beautiful. The creme on it, like, wow, guys. But this is all you're getting.
Now, our coffee shop video would not be complete if we didn't share with you our secret location that we've been holding on for so long. But this shop is amazing. It's time for you to know about it.
Probably 2 years ago, we talked about a location that does everything by hand. They grind and roast their own beans, sometimes in cherry form.
Are these the dried cherries? Oh, so cool.
They hand grind it using a pestle and mortar. They use a cloth hand filter. They're even stoking the flames using a fan. This place is bombastic. The tricky part is that it's only open on Saturday and Sundays, and it's out quite far from any station, to be honest. We always come here by bike, but there's something you need to know. It's always rotating different coffee people that are coming in and out. Today we had the chance to enjoy Kijijunji coffee, and it was awesome.
So I just learned something totally amazing. He's grinding everything with a pestle and mortar instead of using a regular bean grinder, because he says when you use a pestle and mortar, you preserve the cell integrity rather than cutting the cell integrity, and that winds up resulting in a less bitter taste. Brand new thing I just learned for this video right here.
Now, I know a lot of people aren't necessarily into coffee. One way that you can think of it is that when you start going to places that are really caring about their coffee, like they know where it came from, like the land itself that's growing the trees for the cherries is gonna have a very distinctive flavor that's put into the actual coffee. Like, my cup of coffee is so different than Simon's cup of coffee. They're completely different tastes altogether. So you have to appreciate the fact that somebody is growing this in a very particular part of the world with very particular soil and sun and rain, and all of it is going into this one cup of coffee. You gotta taste it all, man. You gotta taste it all.
Now, a few of the places that we're mentioning here today, we found via researching coffee shops online. But most of the coffee shops that we're mentioning to you, we just found via exploring and looking around until we found ones that we liked. And those are the ones that we actually like the most. So I highly recommend you do the same thing. If you're in Tokyo, get on a bike, just point yourself in one direction and find something. If you find a small coffee shop, give it a taste. I'm pretty sure you're gonna love it a lot more than anything that we or anybody else tells you online.